What kind of sick freaking weirdo do you have to be to sell your daughter's innocence? I'm his mom. So my first instinct is to you protect your child.
Righty, so what's poppin', what's good, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I go by Rico Suave, and this is Posted Media. Sorry guys, you know I have my dog, so she makes noise. But today, I have probably one of the most special interviews that I've had so far on Posted. We
Oh, very
have
nice.
we have mother manager of successful actors Chris and Kyle Massey. She served on the governance board in Georgia, first state commissioned charter school in 2017, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
She ran for Georgia's state representative as well as participated in a handful of nonprofits and charities. Guys, now she's a fitness guru continuing to make her change with her HeToo movement. Please give it up for the one and only Mrs. Massey.
Oh,
How are
you're
you
so
doing?
kind.
Yay.
Woohoo!
I try to give good intros for my guests, you know,
You did a
tell the
great
audience a little
intro.
bit about you. Well, before we begin, how are you doing and how is your family so far this year?
So far, well, I'm doing good. Everybody's good. We're just ready to get on the other side of this. Christopher, we got great news to start it off with. We have great news because Christopher is already slated and started to work on the new Zoe 101 movie. So that's
Oh,
great. I don't know if you,
congratulations.
yeah, I didn't know if you were aware of that. So yes, that's coming up, the 20-year anniversary of That's So Raven this
Right.
year.
It's been 20 years already. I guess I
20
am
years
getting a
ago.
little old. I didn't know, like I heard about the Zoe one-on-one movie, but I didn't know if it was gonna be like the thing last time, how it really didn't happen.
Oh
It
no,
was
no,
just like
no.
a
They're
music
they're
video.
they're filming, they're on set.
For those, although Kyle has been very quiet during this entire debacle, like extremely quiet, you've been more vocal than anyone's, I guess, has really even seen you, as his mom. Is it just your motherly instinct to protect him, or is it because he can't really talk because he's like the celebrity or the target?
That's a great question. So it's both actually. It is one because he is actively in the criminal case,
Right, right.
but also because I'm his mom. So first, my first instinct is to you protect your child and not protect him in the way of trying to hide or shield or protect him from consequences that are due to him, but to
Mhm.
protect him from the stigma, the consequences that would be implemented on him as an innocent black male in America, and who better to advocate for him and fight for him other than his mom. We as general human beings, just human nature, human behavior, human decency, when we see something that we know is just, it don't sound right, it doesn't look right, the average person automatically kicks in to
Mhm.
go, something is just not right about that.
Right, right.
Kyle has never been in a situation, Kyle has never even had a negative interaction with a uniformed police officer in his life. He's not that person. He wasn't that kid. And he's
Their
not a criminal.
reputations are great, and we're gonna get to that as well because I thought that was the first red flag that we've never heard anything bad about these guys.
No. And as his mom, it's my job to make sure that his name is protected above and beyond anything else, because his name is the only thing that he really has that's of any value at the end of the day, is his
That's very
name.
true. So, like we've already mentioned, that your boys don't have bad reputations, but how did you stop them from falling down that, kind of child star to train wreck pipeline?
Well, because my whole thing was, I wanted them to be good people. I wanted them to be a good, decent human being. And we just happened to stumble upon, that was our blessing that was given to them, their talent.
Mhm.
And but my whole main thing, my main priority was, I wanted them to be good, decent human beings and be a good person. So at the end of the day, their character would afford them a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth chance, because people would not mind taking a chance on you when you're a good person.
Right.
If you're
right.
you can be as talented as you want to be, but if you're a horrible person, you have a no personality and you're disrespectful and reckless, nobody wants to take a chance on you. So that
Makes
was my
perfect
main
sense.
priority. And I worked really, really super hard at making sure that they were good people.
Full transparency, right? With
Yes.
me, when the news originally hit about Kyle, I didn't do any extra research. At the time, a lot of child stars were coming out with, like, being exposed as predators. So a few of them might have been, I don't know if they were industry friends or Kyle's real friends, but just because I've seen him in the group, I just went along and believed it.
I
After,
understand.
doing the research, of course, I see that that's not true, but
Right.
do you have to say anything about the commentators or reporters who rushed to conclusions and grouped Kyle Massey in with people like a Drake Bell or an Aaron Carter or
Well, what I will say is, because it's a story and because it was a court document, which is public record, I mean, the only person that is to blame for that is Kindra Andrea's. So
right,
we can't blame the media for running a story from a public record document.
right, right,
So the responsibility lies on the irresponsible, inaccurate, false accusation. That's where the problem should start trying to become solved.
right.
Because, you know, like, I can't get mad at any of the media outlets, because in fairness to them, in real time, they
That's what
did
it looked
do an
like.
updated statement. It just didn't make the headline.
Right,
We were embedded into the original story, which they still gave an updated version of the accusation.
right,
So
right,
again, my advocacy is, something has to be done about these false allegations, because here this person is, doesn't no one know, no one knew her name before us.
hmm
Okay. Has a very sketchy background, criminal background. She's been arrested a couple of times. She has financial situations. So when police do investigations and these detectives do investigations, but they don't do those type of investigations when these women come in there with their lying tongues. They just go with the story, and then you have these men that get hemmed up,
hmm
in the crossfire of defaming their name, their character, losing their job, their credibility from one person's account. And that is
right.
the problem. That's a problem.
For those of you hearing about most of this for the first time because you're hard headed and didn't go watch my other video, basically, a woman falsely accused Kyle Massey of grooming and preying on her preteen daughter on Snapchat simply because the Massey family refused to pay ransom, basically, is what she asked for. The woman just used her prior relationship with Kyle to try to extort him out of money in the height of the Me Too movement. So we're going to get right into the questions that I personally want to know. How did you initially find out about this entire inappropriate relationship with Kindra and Kyle? Was it like you found out maybe some years after, or was it when all of this and the ransom note demand letter came to you?
Okay, I found out on February 14th, 2019, which was Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, out of all the days on the calendar year, to get a demand letter for $1.5 million. It included the Me Too movement in the inside of the article. I mean, inside of the demand letter. So the public, you guys weren't aware of that, but they tried to extort us for a whole month. They tried to bully us and scare us
Mhm.
and try to get us to go to mediation and settlement agreement and
Right,
mediation and
right,
all
right.
that. I told him no. I asked Kyle, how did he know these people? And he told me how he knew her. And then that I sent them immediately. I sent her attorneys at the time. They were emailing me. They left me voice messages on my phone, on my personal cell phone,
Oh, wow.
about Kyle. Kyle at the time was grown.
This is basically like harassment. They just
Well,
harassed.
well, I mean,
Oh,
well, what they were trying to do was they were trying to get, had Kyle paid them $1, had he paid them $1,000 or $100 or tried to talk to him, it would have given the appearance or the illusion that he was guilty and he was trying to hide
right,
something. He
right.
never did any of that. So that particular behavior backfired on them because they're used to so many people buckling and trying to get this to go away so they don't lose their job. And so and you try to reason with a fool behind the scenes, and it never works out.
Yeah,
So we
there's no
stood our
reasoning.
position from day one. Kyle has never done anything wrong. Kyle is not a criminal. And that was the deal. And then when she realized that Kyle had basically told the truth about how he knew her, she stopped pursuing her own attorney. Well, Law and Crime, which is a Dan Abrams production, they did a brilliant piece on Kyle's case in real time, and they highlighted the fact that she stopped responding to her own attorneys.
Right.
And when she realized that the cat was out the bag, that she had herself had been sleeping with Kyle, she had to
while
do
he was
something
underage.
while he was underage.
Right.
He was, the last time that Kyle, we were in California full time. He had just turned 16 years old in August of 2007, and we Corey in the House ended in 2007 in November. Kyle was seeing her when he was on That's So Raven, and we finished That's So Raven in 2006.
Right. So her timeline is way off.
Yeah, she's lying about the accusation because she now knew that she was going to be criminally held accountable for what she did to Kyle, because now he had finally told somebody. All these years, he kept that to himself. He never told anybody except for some of his friends. But he never told us. We never knew any of this stuff.
Right. And that's what like most young guys do. They think it's cool to be with the older woman and whatever.
Yeah, and she's 7 years older than him. And Kyle has never met her daughter. That's not even true. I have 3 phone numbers for her: 09670937 and 3010. Those are phone numbers that Kyle have over the years with her, and that was just in his phone. And I verified it with my Sprint account that those phone numbers, it was tons of calls coming in, and it was tons of calls going out over the years, not just when she said. So there's a pattern. So so she who tells the story first is not always telling the truth.
No, of course not.
And so which one of those phones, or is it a different phone number that this whole Snapchat was supposed to be, you know what I mean? And then the Snapchat from, I don't know what Snapchat is. I don't have Snapchat, but from everybody that told me the way Snapchat works, it links you up with people that's already in your phone.
Yes.
Those contact phone numbers he had for her over the course of the years. And then what I will say also too is what's interesting too is the big question is for people that watch this YouTube, this interview. First of all, kids can't go to get a cell phone in their own name. So everything that they have is in their parents' name anyway. Everything that they have is in an adult's name.
That's a really good point.
And how many of us have given our old phone or our old iPhone to our kids?
Correct.
Even if you allow them to watch a video on the phone while you're cooking or whatever, because like Kyle has never denied sending the video.
Right.
He sent it to her because she asked for it.
Correct. And that's what Snapchat's usually for, is to send, nasty photos, because it goes away. It disappears.
I'm just saying.
Originally, when I first heard her story, it didn't make sense to me how, at the time, she said her daughter was 4 and Kyle was 16, but that they, just got such a good relationship because they met at Universal.
Did she say Kyle was 16?
No. But the date she gave me, like the date she put up there, I went and, looked up how old Kyle was, how old the girl would have been, and it doesn't make sense for a celebrity at that to meet a 4-year-old and her family and just want to become friends. Like, you're closer to the mom's age than the little girl's age, for one.
Right.
2, what mom would just allow this man to just, be communicating with her 4-year-old? Like, I don't know. That just never made any sense. Like, it sounded more so like she had a relationship with him, or she stayed in contact with him.
She did.
And just blamed it on, like, I have a young daughter who wanted this or that. So after I sent you my original video that I did, you made sure to correct me on the thumbnail, which said that his career was ruined. Now, I know it's not ruined, but did he lose any sort of deals or projects because of these allegations?
Girlfriend, we lost so much money. We lost so many
Wow.
deals. It's ridiculous. We were, yes, we lost a lot. We lost a lot. Um, she cost us the whole millennials show. The show did
Oh,
not even come
yeah.
back. She cost the millennials the show, not just us, but the producers, the network. She cost the show from this lying allegation because Kyle
Wow.
was one of the leads in the show.
Right, and he was good in
Um,
that show. I remember
and he
seeing a
was
couple
great. He
episodes.
was fantastic in that show. He was doing a fantastic job. We were slated to do. We had just finished filming a really big project that I can't even tell you about right now because it had to get scrapped. It was about to premiere,
That's
a big
great.
opportunity for us. 2019, she cost us two jobs. And one of them is still one of the biggest shows on television right now. And the other one is another show that is on television right now. It's a comedy series on
Mhm.
television right now. And we had gone to network and was doing so. Yes, she's cost us a lot of money. And that brings me to another casing point. Um, that okay, so under the law over here in Georgia, I don't know if it's like, what it is any place else,
Mhm.
but if I steal something of someone or damage something of someone's property and
Mhm.
it's more than $500, it's a felony.
Correct.
Okay. So when these little lying women
Harlots.
cost these men or these people more than $500, it should automatically convert to a felony
Yes, it should.
because they have no freaking consequences right now. That's the reason why there's no stop point.
Mhm.
Where's the due process in that?
And I want to commend you guys, you and Chris, actually, if my research is correct, because he had made a Instagram post, I think, stating her name and saying that she shouldn't
Kindra
be
Andreas
able.
is her name.
Right, Kindra
She's not a
Andrea.
victim. None of them are victims. Kindra Andreas is her name. And so that's another thing. Okay, so you're assuming that she's the victim because she came to tell the story first. So
Right.
now who's the victim after we have a made up arrest that never happened because Kyle has never been arrested in his life.
And
He's never
that
even
bench
been
warrant
placed in
was
a
fake.
police car with handcuffs on. He's never had a mug shot. He's never had fingerprints. He's never been convicted. So
Mhm.
the previous conviction document is what secured them the felony, which was not true, which the
Right.
detective lied about the arrest to even get the fake court date. And then the prosecutor's office faked a previous conviction document to get the felony, all
Mhm.
because the girl lied and she's white and they wanted to collaborate with her story against the black male. The felony, all
Mhm.
because the girl lied and she's white and they wanted to collaborate with her story against the black male.
And because it fit their I don't want to say agenda, but their common theme that they do seem to arrest minorities, black people specifically, at a way higher rate at that specific sheriff's department, which blew me out of the water.
Exactly. King County is the 13th largest county in the entire United States of America. Okay. So they have 2.5 million people, and yet they have 6%, less than 10% black population, and yet 300, and they make up, and black people make up 350% in jail in King County.
Right. Do you think that Kendra knew that she was going to that county and she was going to get this specific result, or do you think she lucked up because that's where she lived?
That's a fantastic question. It's both, I think.
Okay.
One, she does live there. So I'm going to give you three parts. Two of them
Mhm.
is going to be my opinion. The first one, she does live there. That's a fact. The second one is, I personally don't think that Kyle is her first victim because Kyle is the victim here.
Mm.
This is not, I'm going to say, I don't believe that Kyle is her first victim.
Wow.
She's really good at this.
Okay.
And then there's a person that DM'd me and said that back in 2007, she was bragging to them about getting that Disney money and was bragging to the people at the Deja Vu strip club where she used to be a stripper, talking about how she was bragging about sleeping with him.
Wow. And
It's in
see,
my
like I said, stuff is gonna come out. You're
it's
gonna
in my
hear
DM.
rumors.
The lady DM'd me in real time when she saw me on the Shade Room back in 2021 in June when the story first broke. She said that she said if I had respected the whole Jane Doe thing, nobody would have ever known what she looked like, and they would have never known her name.
Right, or
But
who she
because
was to be able to
identify her and to put a relationship with her. Exactly. I have so many people in my DM that have called me about her how shady she is, how she's used her daughter. This is stuff that's in my DM. So if they want to subpoena my DM, they're more than welcome to subpoena my DM from anything that's coming from Seattle.
Right. So why do you think that they're like taking so long to dismiss the case? Do you think now it's just the King County trying to cover their tracks and keep it going, or
what I do know is there's a made up arrest. There's a made up previous conviction document. There's a judge that signed off on a warrant, a felony warrant based on a previous conviction. That's not true. None of it is true. And then another thing too is their previous prosecutor, his name is Dan Satterberg. Well, Dan Satterberg was turned in by a whistleblower for nepotism. So when you say, well, do you think that she would make out there? Well, he was turned in for nepotism by a whistleblower, and he cut a deal to keep, to save his own, what. I mean, and then we have Laura Harmon, which is the deputy prosecutor over there. And all these people just happen to be white. They just happen to be white. And guess what? The county just happened to only have 6% Black people that live there.
Right.
So, and we just happen to be Black. Kyle just happened to be a Black male. And they just happen to make up documents.
No, that makes a lot of sense. They want to save their own butts to, especially because they went after, I'm going to guess, they might have knew who Kyle was when she initially brought the case to them. But I'm sure they just looked at him like another Black man and another white woman, and we could just, keep this going for our own safety. And now, so where do you think Kindra came up with the amount of 1.5 million?
You know something? I can't. My IQ can't even think that low, because my kid, there's not even a price that I would. Who sells their daughter?
Right, and that's basically what she was doing.
Because guess what? Let's just go with what she says. Okay, Kyle did everything that she said, but you can make it all right by buying your daughter's innocence. You're gonna sell your daughter's innocence. What kind of crud mother do you have to be to sell your daughter's innocence?
Right.
Say that out loud. I would like for everybody that's looking at this interview, close your eyes and say to yourself, how much is it for you to sell your daughter for someone to harm her?
That's
how
so
much
disgusting.
Money would you accept for someone causing harm to your daughter?
Yeah.
Your minor child that you're supposed to protect. That if I was an attorney, that's what I would, that would be my closing argument. I want everybody in this room, whether you're a parent or not, close your eyes. And I would like for everybody to write down on a sheet of paper, how much is your daughter's innocence worth in money and coins? Write it down on a piece of paper and pass it to the judge. Let the judge read it to us. What kind of sick freaking weirdo do you have to be to sell your daughter's innocence? And correct me if I'm wrong. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2 or 3 weeks right after the R. Kelly interview with Gayle King, when he had the complete meltdown on the interview. It was right after that she came after us privately and it tried to extort us for 1 month. She came after us February the 14th, and she went public with it March the 17th. I'll never forget it. I was at the University of Kentucky game at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, minding my own business. And my son called me, and I could not understand a word that was coming out of his mouth. He wanted to jump off of a freaking cliff.
Mm-hmm. That is so sad.
And it was at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, where the media is closed. So we had to get drugged all over the media all weekend long. So that's why I said from the beginning, everything that she did was strategic. Mm-hmm. It was strategic.
So that's why you don't think that she's new to this. That
she's not new to this. She's not new to this. Kyle is not her first victim, because she's too good at it. you know, and not that I haven't made any mistakes, you know, and I probably will continue to make some. I'm sure I will. You know,
You're human.
I will curse Chris Kyle out if I need to and won't think
Right.
twice about it. So somebody else would say that that's a bad mom. So somebody could put me in a category as a bad mom because I say curse words to my kids. Because if you
Right.
don't, you know what I mean? So I'm not far from, I'm so far from perfect. I could use improvement in a lot of areas, but the one thing that I know I won't do, I'm not selling my sons to nobody.
Right.
Then my
For no
sons are
amount.
not for sale. And I'm not giving my kids away to the devil. You're gonna have to, the devil gonna have to fight me for my children because I know the work and the labor that we've done to put into my sons. That's the reason why we got a second chance. We did the movie Dutch after that allegation. We did the real, we did the
Yes. Yes.
millennials, we made big screen, we did Dutch, we were at the movie theater on the big screen. We the people that knew us, they gave us our second chance to come back because they knew our character.
Right.
They know our character. We were in 18 million households back in 2003 on That's So Raven.
Right. Everybody
when people
knows
when people were
your
paying
boys.
for subscriptions to, when you had to pay for Disney Channel to be on cable. We're a worldwide name. We're a brand.
Yeah, he's a part of my childhood. Actually, so back to Kindra real quick. Has she tried to communicate with you or Kyle outside of the demand letter for that 1 month?
Oh no, no.
Okay. Okay. So back to your shirt because it does say HeToo on it.
It's not cricket anymore, right?
No, it's not cricket anymore. It's perfect. Tell me a little bit about the HeToo movement. I'm assuming it kind of started with your son, of course, and then seeing how many cases like this, go on.
Yes, so HeToo is just what you said. It's just the when the accusation first started. I remember in my first interviews that I did, I was just saying HeToo, you know, men have rights too. Like
Mhm.
men, what about male victims get dismissed in California and ended up in Seattle? Okay, so in California, the case wasn't dropped. There was no settlement and there was no mediation. The judge dismissed the
Missed
case.
it. Right.
And so what this and the second piece is, people go, well, then how you go from state to state? It didn't go from state to state. What
Just
happened was they created a crime that took place in their state. It wasn't the same allegation that just rolled over into Washington. They
Oh,
created
really?
a paper trail to say Kyle Massey he committed a crime in the state, and that's what generated the court date.
I didn't
That's
I
what
didn't even get that.
Yeah, you see, that's why I like you. I'm so glad that you even thought enough for me to do the interview. So they created a crime via a police report, an arrest form, to say that Kyle came to their state and he committed a crime and he got arrested for it. That's what generated the court date, but it was a
Because it
false
had to be in
document.
their jurisdiction. So that's why they
Right.
started making up everything from the fingerprints to, because
Eh,
that's true. I'd never seen a mugshot. I never seen
no,
any
you're never going to see
fingerprints
a
or any.
mugshot, and you're never gonna find him on surveillance even in that place because he's never been there. Okay, let's
Mhm.
just go with the fact that on that super form that I have that says manufacturer, is the super form that you have the document.
Mhm.
The super form says that he was arrested September the 24th, 2021 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He
He
was
was
on
on
set.
set.
He was on set at Millennials that day, right? But
Mhm.
let's just listen to this. Let's just go with the fact that he got arrested on September the 24th, 2021 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mhm.
Let's just say Kyle Massey got arrested. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, had he gotten arrested, wouldn't they have his actual address that he actually lived at on his driver's license? Because his driver's license would have been on him when he got arrested.
Right.
But what she did is she had them to send the document to the Palazzo where we used to live when we were on Dancing with the Stars. They didn't put an apartment number on it. So what the Palazzo does is, because it's such a huge community, when
Mhm.
it came to the base address of the Palazzo on La Brea,
Mhm.
they sent it back to King County. And guess what? By the grace of God, it actually made it back to King County, and it actually got logged into the court that he was not served, and they still proceeded to have court without him. knowing in advance that he was not properly served.
And this brings me to another question, because this is all fake, right? We understand that. I think my audience pretty much gets that too. But I had to, of course, play devil's advocate because I pride myself on bringing, the full story. I don't like
Right.
to be biased.
That's right.
But there were about 4 allegations that came out on the Daily Beast that seemed completely fake. I'm not gonna lie. All of the women, most of them, wanted to be anonymous. Their stories didn't add up. It just sounded like they found some random girls to also lie and try to prove a pattern in Kyle.
Well, guess what? I know exactly what you're talking about because I saw those too.
Mm-hmm.
But and it probably would have worked had we caved, like under the whole movement.
Right. And paid.
You know what I mean? Had he caved, had they arrested him, had he gone to jail, then everybody would be like, yeah. He did that to me too. Yeah. He did that to me too. Yeah. He did that to me too. But then when I put her ass on the damn internet and her name, her picture, it's like everybody, wait, whoa. She crazy. No, she crazy. No, we don't want to play this game no more. And it's a game because you're trying to take someone's freedom away from them.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to take my son's freedom, and I'm trying to put you on blast.
Right. You need to get what you deserve.
I mean, it's fine because they think it's a game, and it's not a game when you're dealing with someone's freedom.
Right.
This is not a game. This is not a game.
That is.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not a game. Like, it's not a game. Like, it's just not a game. It's not funny. There's nothing. What do you get out of this? Like, the power of just taking someone's freedom away from them, and what's their motive? Should I just rather them say, hey, look, you know what? We screwed up, but you know what? She lied. She told us that she was gonna split the money with us 3 ways. So you know what I mean? Can you give us our cut?
No, and definitely. I mean, I think however long it takes you guys to fight this case, you guys will prevail. I love the HeToo. I have one more question before we finish up, and it's about HeToo. You seem to spend a lot of time at like college and high school games and stuff. So are you talking to like the young men and the athletes? Because it happens a lot with athletes as well.
So that's a really great question, actually. The case with Adam Anderson over at University of Georgia, it breaks my heart every time the girl had 2 conflicting stories with the University of Georgia. He was a senior up for #1 draft pick in the NFL. She says that she spent the night with him. She woke up, he was on top of her. He get kicked off the team. He get arrested. He get a mugshot, fingerprinted. This man, they said that kid had over 100 and something character witnesses that paraded in and out of the Athens courthouse talking up for him, and none of it counted. Only one person's account of his character counted when his freedom was on the line. I think that's the bunch of bull s if I've never seen it.
It is.
Now, why would this man on the brink of his career or his life changing career, why would he do that right before the championship? He didn't get to play in the championship game. University of Georgia have gone to the championship twice. He was the rug was snatched from underneath him. Why? Because of a accuser. With that, that was on record for having 2 different stories.
Right.
That's not right.
Not at all. And I'm going to edit this part out, but these black men and boys need to stop messing with the fair-skinned women. I'm gonna edit that out, but
guess what? But you don't even have to edit that out because that's your opinion, and it's a good opinion. Because you know why? Because it's a stereotype. Brian Banks's accuser was a black girl.
Yes, no, definitely.
She was a black girl. Marcus Dixon's accuser was a white girl. Kyle's accuser is a white girl. But
really, it's all girls.
It's the lying tongue. It's the lying tongue. That's the problem. It's not necessarily a black or white thing, but when it does happen to be the white girl against the black male, he definitely don't have a shot.
Because we look like we're the angry or aggressive, and
exactly. When Kyle is the victim, Kyle
Mhm.
is the victim. Kyle is the victim. He the victim of the system. He the victim of the accuser. He's the victim. He's the only
Of the
victim here in
media.
our family.
Right. Because you guys all have the same last name. And when I typed up
Exactly.
Chris to try to listen to his new song, Run It
Run
Up.
it up.
Yeah, I tried to go find it, and Massey, it was just other stuff that popped up. Of course, I did find it, and it's a good song, by the way, guys. I'll link that for you, too. I do honestly just want to applaud you for fighting for your son. It's really refreshing to see industry parents or momagers, as they would call you guys, that actually care about their kids and like your kids' well-being. You're not just focused on the fame and the money. I also think your HeToo movement is so important, like so important. It needs to be damn near a lesson plan in like all athletes, like training when they're practicing. I don't think I have any other questions for you. Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know or you'd like to say before we go?
You know what? I would like to say something. I have a friend of mine, a gym friend of mine, that he was just arrested and convicted. Actually, they gave him. Listen to this story. They gave him life in prison. He's never been in trouble for black male. I don't know what the race is of the lady that accused him. Black
Oh
male.
wow.
December 4th, he was convicted, which means
Mhm.
that he didn't take a plea deal, which means that he believed in himself and
Right.
that they would believe the truth. She says
Mhm.
that she spent the night with him, and when she woke up, he was on top of her. Sounds the same way like the University of Georgia kid, right?
Right.
It's the same story to me. I don't know. I haven't seen the man's transcript, but I'm just saying, just from listening to it, and the district attorney said that it was an acquaintance, that she spent the night with him, and when she woke up, he was on top of her. So what they did is they got him for sodomy, right?
Mhm.
So now, what do you think of when you hear the word sodomy?
You're just putting something inside of somebody forcibly.
Okay, that's your final answer.
Yes.
Okay, so and that's what most people think of. That's the first thing you think of when you hear the word sodomy, right? So because he's my friend and he's never been in trouble before, very high character guy, but he
Mhm.
got convicted, right? Same like Brian Banks, same like Marcus Dixon.
Mhm.
Um, and so it forced me to go research the definition of sodomy in the dictionary. And it
Mhm.
says sodomy in the dictionary says a sexual organ, which is your penis, okay?
Mhm.
Because the organ that goes into oral or anal. But most people, when they say sodomy, you think of just anal,
Anal. Right.
right? But it's not just anal, it's oral too.
So you could get head and
Do
be
you see what I'm
considered a
saying? See, I wanted
sodomy.
you to say it
Yeah.
than me. So how many girls you know that does that?
A
A lot
lot.
of them. But guess what? But see, that's the new game.
Mhm.
That's the new game. That's the new game. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's like, why do you have to take a college course on going to bed with somebody? And your freedom is
Right.
on the line when you get finished.
Right.
Because there's no consequences for her to lie and say that she didn't do it on her own. I don't know what she did because I haven't read the transcript. But just like you just comfortably and confidently gave me your definition of sodomy, and that's what most people think it is.
Right. SVU taught me.
So that means that any girl that sucks somebody's penis, she can go back tomorrow and say, he sodomized me. You're lying, little. And it goes a lot of cuss words that just went right there.
Right. You harlot.
But see, they know game. But
Mhm.
see, we got the people, the ones of us that's got sons and brothers and husbands and nephews, like these detectives and these police officers and these forensic people, they need to
Have like just use your brain
use your
sometimes. Just
fucking
think
brain. If it was
logically.
your child, how would you handle the case if it was your fucking son? How would you handle if you was investigating your own son? How would you handle the testimony, and how would you handle the evidence?
Mhm.
The lying part of it. And come to find out, this was this guy's girlfriend.
Wow.
And then don't and let's not forget that there's a book that's out there called How to Destroy a Man Now. It's called Damn, Damn. How to Destroy a Man Now. It's sold on Amazon. It walked them through how to successfully take down a successful man. And then don't forget about the movie Gone Girl. She did everything to herself. She did everything to herself, trying to set her husband up, and it failed. It backfired on her.
And that's so sad that in the world of equality today, it almost seems like women are trying to not even want equality, but they just want full power and control. It's like they are doing too much with the leadway they were given. Because like I said in my video, the Me Too movement did help, you know, a lot of predators and actual bad people get caught up. But it also made such a huge lane for women to just start throwing out accusations against people to ruin them. So that's terrible. And I'm so sorry that Kyle and your family is going through this. Posted is here for you guys. You know, we will keep everybody updated as much as you guys have updates. We will keep it going. Like you said, our pen isn't that big, but you know, every little letter, you know, makes a difference. Every little piece of ink. So thank you for speaking to me today, Mrs. Massey. Miss Massey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was fine. Okay. You're awesome. I really do appreciate it too, actually.
And I think that's all good, and we're good. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I got something. Hold on.
Okay.
So cute, right?
That is adorable in his HeToo shirt. That is cute. Oh, you got it all decked out. Are you selling the HeToo shirts and everything? Are they? Yeah. Is there a website?
They're $15, and they can cash out me at $JustHeToo.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure that $JustHeToo.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Mrs. Massey. I appreciate you.